This podcast is rated PG-13. Parents strongly cautioned. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every movie on the top 250 movies of all time list, according to IMDb, in reverse order. This week, we are doing number 233, which is the Steven Spielberg movie, Catch Me If You Can, which came out in 2002. I am one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are...
John.
And TC.
And this week, it is John's turn to go first. John,
Woo!
what did you think of this movie?
It's all right.
TC, what did you think of this movie?
That was quick. It's all right.
That's good.
I think I liked it a lot more the first time I saw it. So this is the second time I've seen it. I saw it, probably not long after it was first released on the DVD. So I think it was more fun watching it, not knowing how it was all going to turn out. I think, not knowing how the plot twists that would happen and so forth.
So you remembered it pretty well, the plot?
Yeah, because it's pretty memorable. I mean, I think I don't know what else. I mean, it's still Spielberg tells a story really well. I don't know if he's like he's not like the meticulous director or anything like that, but he really whether it's Jaws or E.T. or whatever, he's like got a story to tell, and he tells a story really well. So I think that's the case in this story. He just tells it really well, and it just moves from one thing to the next, and it's fun to watch. I'm not the biggest Leonardo DiCaprio fan. I don't dislike the guy, but I always sort of wonder why he keeps getting in all these roles.
How dare you?
I know.
Wow,
I'm sorry. We can say. I guess we're going to contend on that later. I don't. Again, I'm not angry with him for being there.
That's good.
Just not happy.
But yeah,
I can do it out. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so there were a lot of interesting things, but I don't know if I felt like really pulled by any of it. And maybe it's because I've seen it before, but like the relationship with his dad, and that he's really just looking for somebody to tell him to stop, and that he's just a kid wanting his parents to get back together and things like that. It didn't really have emotional weight to it, even though it's really interesting, and you sort of see like exploring those angles is really interesting kind of to help understand this guy's motivation, how he can do the things that he does or what motive drives him. And again, it's hard. It doesn't feel like I'm watching a kid either. Like, this guy's a kid in the, his age is what, like 17?
16.
Like 16?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm watching a 16-year-old. So I don't get that kind of sympathy for the kid, for the actor or the character, because I don't feel like I'm watching a 16-year-old, where if I really felt like I was watching a 16-year-old, I might be a lot more interested in forgiving in terms of the way he's not even thinking about his consequences or how he might be hurting other people. But I don't buy that Leo's a 16 as this is going on. He's like, mid-20s. So I think that kind of hurts it a little, because it's more about, the amazing thing about what this guy did when he was 16. But then if I really believed more that it was a 16-year-old, I could have really maybe bought into a lot more of the parent stuff and him wanting to get his parents together, and him wanting to just have guidance from somebody, like having his dad tell him no and things like that. I think might have been stronger. I might have felt like more emotionally involved in that stuff. But it still was good, and I just feel like, I don't know, I wanted it to be better. I wanted like I saw the pieces there and the really cool things about Tom Hanks' character, and how he was kind of in his own way a misfit, or his own relationships weren't working out too well, and they had some kind of a bond. And he was still callous, like the way Tom Hanks played him. Like he like laughs because he called him on Christmas Eve because he's lonely, and he thought that was he's like, I love my job. It was funny, but it's trying to show that his character is also kind of a misfit and not good at relationships. And I just feel like a lot more could have been done to really pull that stuff off. But so that's kind of my general take. I thought it was a really interesting story to watch, and there's things I just didn't get the emotional parts of it.
Oh, well, I wrote down a bunch of stuff you just said, John, because when I go after TC here, I'm gonna
you're gonna
rebuttal it.
You gonna have the rebuttal?
Yeah. But TC, how about you go next?
All right. Well, this is what I wrote for overall. I said I enjoyed it. The acting, directing were very good. The pacing and events were quick and well executed. Humor was good. John Williams did a great job on the soundtrack or score. And this being the second time I've watched it, I was happy that I did. So, Johnny boy, you really didn't like. You didn't feel. So Leonardo's not a big. You're not a big favorite, for Leonardo.
I guess
right?
not. I don't.
I think that might be what it is. Because I got a lot of the emotion out of it. I wrote down,
too.
Stuff in the beginning. Okay, you can see the kid's life falling apart. Knowing that he's a kid, I mean, I guess maybe the acting, since he's older than 16, is hard to take.
Well, I mean,
since I knew the
he's
character was
supposed to.
young, I kind of just equated it to someone being young. I wrote down stuff like you start to feel bad for him when the life starts to fall apart, right? Like he starts lying to his parents, then he's really on a tangent. He seemed like a pretty good kid from the beginning. It just was put into a shitty situation. The mom sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
He's having to run away, so he's obviously that's a kid thing to do, right? That's not something an adult does. You sort of kind of just have to sit there and take it.
Yeah,
as an adult and deal with it.
So how old Leo was when he played in this? Well, we'll save that for later.
He's got to
anyway.
be in his 20s, easy.
Anyway,
Closer to 30,
You're giving an excellent summary, by the way, TC.
Yeah.
You took meticulous notes, man. Keep going.
No, I tried. So, I thought it was great. The whole running away with the checks, just kicking off the just snowball of degradation and debauchery was awesome. It was like I could see myself doing something stupid like this when I was a kid and not even thinking twice. And then when they get to that shot of all the checks that he's copied, it's like now you're into like genius territory.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool, the fact that he's sort of exponentially becomes better at these things, right? Like he gets away with it and he's like, all right, I can do this. I can be a con artist. And then as he gets better at it, it's like nobody's going to suspect anything, right? And I thought that was kind of cool that he kind of just takes control of the situation and he's a young kid. He's not thinking about any consequence. Doesn't give a shit. Move on to the next thing. Get to the next part and don't get caught. It's like a perfectly, I don't know. That's what a young kid does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's you can get that sense of that knowing that he's that age, it helps you not be so mad at him for not realizing how he's like ruining other people's lives or screwing other people over. That he's just sort of caught up in things. I mean, because we've all done things like that when we were kids, or even things like you just driving like a maniac and speeding, going 90 miles an hour on a hilly road so you can catch some air, and not really
Speaking
thinking
from experience. It sounds like.
yeah, right.
Well,
these are things that have happened.
Yeah, well, you don't think it doesn't register how dangerous it is. You just don't get this idea that there are consequences or that. You might, even if you don't care about your own life, there may be other people in the car with you or whatever, So it's that kind of thing, it helps that he was that young so that you can still portray him as kind of a hero,
Yeah.
One couple things I didn't like that I didn't find very realistic were the him passing the bar and him becoming like a doctor and having people believe that.
So we can talk about that.
These are not two things that are easily obtainable by anybody, let alone somebody who's not those things.
Yeah.
We can be unrealistic.
We can be sure that Denny fact checked this.
I did.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I was getting at. I wanted to know if Denny found out about.
I did. I found out
things.
about all of it, and it'll be
okay. So let's let you go through your spiel.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go through your spiel, and then we'll get to that.
But do you got more though, man? Because you took
keep going.
Great notes. So keep going.
No. I think that's pretty much all I got.
Keep
as I'm looking
going,
through it.
TC.
That's more important. That's. Favorite joke. My favorite joke was knock knock, go fuck yourself. Because I would tell that joke. That sounds like it came out of my repertoire. So
and you get the one F word. You get the one F word for that one.
Well, he had a Boston accent, right? So,
that's true. And he had to be Bostonian. I said is cop Bostonian. It doesn't sound. It kind of sounds like it. So I wasn't sure. And I
liked his accent.
But I didn't.
I liked
I think he was good.
Yeah,
he was close.
Very close, and it was consistent, even if it might have been off a little bit.
Right, he was consistent,
and it's great to see. It's great to see Tom Hanks play not a nice guy. I mean, he still was likable.
Definitely likable,
but he wasn't like a good-hearted guy. He was just kind of like a stickler.
He wasn't necessarily a good cop or whatever he was, FBI agent either. He was just stubborn, pretty much.
Well, he's a good cop.
Yeah. Quap.
Yeah, quap. He's a good quap. Yeah, so no, I'm good. That's it. Denny,
All right.
let's hear
So
it.
I'm gonna start and say this is the first Steven Spielberg movie we've watched. And Steven Spielberg is tied for first place for the most number of movies out of any director on this 250 list.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
How many movies is that?
7.
Wow,
Scorsese
7.
and him.
7 movies of the 250 best movies of all time from one guy, which is
That's pretty big.
That's
Pretty awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, and there are a couple more that you might be able to add to it that aren't on here either, but it's that's debatable. But
Right.
I love this movie. I've seen this a bunch of times. Like it's on TV a lot when I had TV like a few years ago. Whenever I saw it on, I would be like, this is probably better than anything else on, and I'd like watch it from wherever it was. I love the cast. I'm not like a head over heels DiCaprio fan, but he's pretty freaking good most of the time, I think.
Agreed.
But I mean, he's kind of like a George Clooney of himself. His looks get him by, and he kind of is the same kind of character most of the time. You can always tell it's him.
I think that maybe that's part of it. It's like, oh, it's Leo. Hi, Leo. I'm not sure if I like Leo a lot.
Yeah.
Like I like George Clooney and whatever it is that he's got going for him, even though it's just and so I'm on board with that. Or say like there's a number of character actors like John Cusack, for example. Or
you like him?
Yeah, but there are characters that you just like.
You just wouldn't want to be friends with Leo, is what it is.
Maybe not. Maybe that's my problem.
You don't want to hang out with on his boat with all of his models? Come on, John.
No, because they wouldn't want to have anything to do with me
I'd be
because
sitting
he's
there in
so
the corner
pretty.
drinking like
I'm
a
gonna
little
get
bastard.
sunburned.
Yeah, like it's just terrible. This guy gets all the women. I'm sitting here like a bum. That would be horrible.
You, Leo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, but I invited you on the boat. Like, I don't give a shit. You're the worst.
No, it's
you know?
PG-13.
What's our rating? I have to get beat.
You're getting beeped. It's okay. But yeah, I love like everybody in this movie. This is a stacked cast. It has Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken's, even the cameos. Like it has Hilary Swank and Amy Adams.
Where was
Who's
she? I
Hilary
didn't
Swank
remember her.
doing?
Hilary Swank was the prostitute he hired that one night.
Oh, I thought, but there was no, that was Garner.
Really?
Oh,
Jennifer
it was
Garner.
Garner. Damn it, I can't
That's
tell
a
them
big
apart.
difference. That's
Is
a
it?
big difference.
They look the same.
No, I just meant that's a big
your
difference.
Fact was
in
wrong,
actor
Denny.
Fact wrong. Thank you, John, for correcting me.
Fact wrong.
It had the Gray from Grey's Anatomy in it.
Yeah. And Pompey as the stewardess.
It
I
has
wonder if that was like
Elizabeth
one of her first roles.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
as well, Amy Adams. I don't know if that was one of her first roles.
Same, and Elizabeth Banks. It might have been one of her first roles too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool cameos from people who are now like extremely famous. It might have been back then. I have no idea. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, so John, a couple of the things you said Spielberg is not meticulous. I would disagree pretty hard on that one. Like there are a couple of the shots, and it's kind of hard to tell. Well, it would be hard to tell if it wasn't Spielberg and it was kind of what he does in every movie. But there are individual shots in this movie that seem so simple, but just are, if you pay like really close attention to what it's doing. There's a lot of camera movements. The one shot I wrote down in particular was when Leo escapes from Amy Adams' character, and there's the room full of money, and then like the dollar bill floats from underneath, and then the camera pans around.
The float.
And
I got a note on that one too. Love the dollar bill.
Love it. Yeah, that was great. But you see it pans, and then you see his shadow, like a hard lit shadow of him against the wall, and then it pans more, and you can see Amy Adams clasping money, and it pans more, and you can see Tom Hanks like in the mirror. Like just stuff like that happens consistently.
I think you're right, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that. I think, and this is probably one of the things that the reason why he's one of the top directors is the story is always the most important thing. He never watched a Spielberg film, I don't think, or at least not never, but there are some other directors that you watch that are considered very top notch directors, and you get the feeling they're like, look at this, all right, look at what we're doing now. Isn't this awesome? and I think with Spielberg, it's always much more about like, I'm going to tell this story and I'm going to just do this in a way that's like so smooth and streamlined. So you're right. I'm totally wrong to use the word not meticulous. So I withdraw the comment. Sir.
Thank you. One for me, one for you. It's 1-1 at this point.
Yes.
And the other one I wrote down was DiCaprio not being a convincing 16-year-old. And my point of contention is that the guy, Frank W. Abagnale, did not look 16 when he was 16, which is how he got away with all the stuff he got away with.
All right.
He was 6 feet tall at 16. He had gray hair at 16. Not a full head of gray hair, but gray hairs. And people always said he looked like he was in his late 20s, like when he was in high school.
Right. Like, so Leo was 28 when this was done.
Yeah.
So, okay. So this is a good point.
And I thought they did a good job of like, the timeline. Like he looked older when he was supposed to be older, and when he was younger, he looked younger. It was mostly in like haircuts and eye makeup and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's still,
I still didn't feel well. And again, this is a hard thing to do because on one hand, the character is super smart and super confident, and on the other hand, there's these deep like insecurities or just insecurities that any 16-year-old might have, right? And I just didn't feel like that came through. Like I didn't buy the insecurity parts of it coming through. And maybe it's hard just because you see someone cocky and brash and confident, and that fits really well with Leo, or even somebody who's brash, cocky, and confident and has gone too far and is now going crazy. Like, like in the scene where Tom Hanks' character catches him in France in the paper printing, in the press room. I like that scene is one of my favorites of the movie, and I think that I bought that Leo was going nuts at that point. Yeah. I bought that his character was half crazy, and like you got me, you're here, and I thought that was
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot, just because I thought that Leo did I really bought that he was going crazy. Then it's just
he was excited that he had someone to hang out with. Like he saw somebody on Christmas, which he hasn't done in a while.
But the stuff with his dad and the mom and stuff, I don't know. I didn't.
Well, the dad never bought it too, right? I mean, the dad, they kind of made it seem like he was aware, like he can't pull one over on him. He's been doing.
No, but it's more about the relationship of showing. I don't know, of how they show that relationship where he's wanting his dad's approval. He's wanting his dad to tell him to stop, make him stop. If anything, he just wants somebody to just sort of help him.
Yeah.
And he's got is his father figure who is just sort of detached and has his own fantasies that are sort of crumbled around him. I don't know. I mean, you're making me want to watch it again, though, to see if I'm just being a jerk about it.
No, I mean, I think a lot of it is DiCaprio's movie. And if you don't like looking at DiCaprio, you're going to have a hard time enjoying the movie, I think.
That's true.
Well, it's not like don't like looking at him. I don't know how to say it.
I don't know. But you're not a huge fan of him.
I'm not. I don't like go with him wherever he goes, I guess. I don't know. There's some character actors or actors that are just, they're larger than life, and you just go wherever they go, and you're very happy to.
He's one. I love it. I love him. I love him.
I know, and I love. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Johnny
I don't
Depp,
because
it's like he's the same kind of caliber. Like even George Clooney, I love him. As soon as I see him, like, this guy's the best.
Yeah, I love
that.
Like with George Clooney,
Denzel Washington. Come on.
Yeah. So it makes me really sad that I'm not on board with Leo because he's in so many great films.
Yeah. Maybe you got to rethink.
Maybe I need some kind of Leo rehab.
We got a Leo
Whenever
getaway.
You start feeling down about Leo, you got to go watch What's Eating Gilbert Grape to refresh your faith.
When he goes full retard.
Yeah, he's the only person to ever successfully do that.
See, the thing about me is all I think about whenever I have someone go whenever I'm like, good job, I always get that Leo meme in my head with him in the martini.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
is that from The Great Gatsby?
Yeah.
Good job, huh?
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
So I thought it was hilarious. Like I was laughing.
Yeah, the jokes were good. The humor was good,
and they were all character based, and they were all like snarky, and they weren't just like they weren't quippy. They were They seemed like they wouldn't have been funny in the situation there, but it was funny for us, which is always kind of cool when they can do that.
Right, and it's also not people breaking character to be funny, which we've seen a lot lately.
Yeah. The settings and the costumes and the colors, the old cars, the pilot porn that is some reason like a big part of this movie, if you know what I mean. Like they no silence. Just the fact that they
no the fact that pilots are worshipped sort of like and that like they're seen as like astronauts or something.
Yeah,
and
maybe
they were
back in the 70s.
Back in the day, like they were more like of a revered position, which is kind of sad.
Well, before there weren't computers controlling the planes.
I guess, yeah. But we also don't. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like we don't respect teachers and a lot of things positions that used to be respected.
Doctors.
I mean, what are they doing really? I mean, what do they do really? What are they doing really?
Yeah, I mean,
according
to like
Frank,
a glamorization of professions, whatever they are.
I mean, are you a YouTube star or are you a doctor? I mean, come on.
You're not PewDiePie, man. Come on.
It's 2016.
For what people are willing to pay for, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
All right,
that's.
so Denny, let's get some fact checks here. I'm dying.
I loved it. I love the movie. Well, before we get the fact checks, I got some questions in the movie itself. Let's
Okay.
All right,
let's
fine.
keep let's
All
keep
right.
in the fiction of the movie before we head out into the factual
to the
real world
non-fiction.
stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
What did you guys think about Chris? So I love Christopher Walken in this movie. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
characters of his he's ever done, I think.
Yeah, he's great.
wow.
But the speech, all right. So this is a loaded question now. But the speech he gives about the two mice in a bucket of cream.
Yeah.
Do you guys have strong thoughts about that in either direction?
I do. It's an awkward thing, so it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. But it also feels like this guy's a character who has a lot of things rehearsed in his head, and just sort of like clings to them, like that his wife picked him, out of the other guys that were there, and that's like a story that he tells himself, and he repeats that a lot to himself, and so it's the same thing with the mice and the cream, like that's. He says it, but I don't know if it has any true meaning to him other than that he may have just heard it before. Maybe his dad said that to him or something, where it's just sort of weird that he says it.
Yeah, he doesn't even
it's just
set it
something
up
he
or
sort of-
anything.
No, it's something he holds on to, and I think the idea is that it's just like here's a guy who's held on to certain things, and he just hangs on to them, and he doesn't really pay attention to the other things going on around him. It's too much, sort of like he just sort of like. I don't know. He's just kind of stuck in some things.
Yeah.
Like even with his son on the run and everything like that. And while he does care for him, he's still like more doing these odd things, where are you going tonight? There's somewhere some of these things that seem really strange, but it seems like he's just got these ideas in his head.
Do you think he's losing his mind?
I don't know. He's losing his mind. I think he's just really like stuck in things and just clinging on to certain stuff that's repeating in his head. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily losing your mind or not, but I don't know.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
that
he
was
is a
my
con
take.
artist, so you have to
Yeah.
you have to think. Con artists are kind of confused as to what is real and what isn't on a daily basis, anyways.
Maybe, yeah. That's
Because I mean, you'd
maybe
have to convince yourself of that stuff in order to actually take
that, or you just have
go
to
through
not
it.
think about the consequences of what you've done.
Yeah.
So that you just sort of maybe you start living in a fantasy land or some kind of, because if you were to think too hard about what you did and whether it was right or wrong, you might start feeling pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I wrote down too, though, is that the time is kind of like, it's like a white male establishment at the time. It's like kind of cheesy, right? And that story is the epitome of that kind of guy getting up and toasting in front of his friends. He's the white successful guy, even though he's a con artist.
Yeah. And some random
mean, like-
club that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, that we don't have any context of. It's just like he's just a shindig with his pals.
Yeah.
And they're all doing well, and it's kind of cheesy. So you tell a story that's cheesy because they're all a bunch of cheese balls.
Yeah.
So
That's
I wasn't
true.
too bothered by that, but I love Christopher Walken, so it's tough because
Yeah.
I like him no matter what. He says a line, I'm like, yep, that's it, that's the one. That's how it's
Planes
said.
flying overhead,
You can
21
say
Gun Salute.
anything right there, and I'm in. So
Yeah,
I'm a little biased.
He's an amazing character actor. He's a very interesting guy where it's not like he's beautiful or like very handsome, I guess. Although
You don't think so? I think he's pretty striking.
He's striking, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. He's striking, but that's not beautiful.
No.
That's
It's odd.
kind of. He's got a
odd-looking.
strong face.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, well, he was in a terrible motorcycle accident and had like
Really?
a lot of face reconstruction surgery.
When did that happen?
Wow.
That was pretty good.
That was beautiful.
I don't want to ask you for any more. That might be the only thing you can do for me, but that was pretty good. Well, John, do you know when
probably.
he had the accident?
No, I'm poking around right now. So
I'm curious because like Luke Skywalker had a bad car crash between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah. Well, he had wasn't Luke Skywalker was in a wreck of some kind too, and maybe I'm
Yeah,
getting my
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I just said.
John can't do two.
Yeah,
at
he's
once.
reading and
He's
listening.
trying to read and like trying to listen, but that's
I
not gonna
can't
work
be
for him.
everything to you people.
Guys, it's one thing at a time.
It's like, yeah. John, get closer to the mic. John, don't move the
John,
mic.
go get something.
That's how it
John,
works.
turn your logic on. John, make a template. John, do this. John, hurry up. John.
Do we know why Frank Sr. loses his money or like what he does or anything like that?
I get he owns the store and he's not paying his taxes. That's all I got. And I don't know if that's even the exact thing that was going on. But that's just sort of what I ended up assuming.
Okay. It's weird that he got the award like so close to him being like evicted and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's
I
a
don't know.
good question there, Denny.
I don't know.
I don't either. I
Uh,
don't have anything written about that.
I'm just going through my notes in chronological order. I want to point out my least favorite scene in the whole movie by a large margin, because I think it's the only scene I don't like in the movie, which was when Frank Jr.'s mom was kind of caught cheating, and she kind of just talks to herself for like a minute. She's like, "There's nothing to talk about, right? You won't tell your father.
You're not going to tell your father. You're not going to.
Because there's nothing to tell.
Why would you tell your
That's
father?
right. Okay,
Yeah.
but don't tell him. Seriously, but you're right. There's nothing to tell. Okay." And you're like, stop talking. Stop it. You're
Stop
digging a
talking.
hole. You're doing
You're
bad.
nervous as hell, and we can tell. Is
yeah.
that good though? I mean, it made you nervous. It made
I
you
thought
annoyed.
No,
I
it did.
thought
It
that
made me
was-
mad at how bad her acting was, and also how horrible
really?
of a mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she did a pretty bad job for like a monologue sort of scene.
But yeah, I don't know. I was annoyed at her.
Yeah,
I was like, look at her trying to cover it up. Look at her. Look at her.
yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, right. So I wasn't thinking about the bad acting, but as
Yeah.
far as the acting goes in the whole movie, yeah, that might have been the worst role.
Yeah.
It's a little hard because she had an accent, so it's kind of difficult to, I don't know, to piece that together. But
Yeah,
like if her English isn't very good, then I mean, I understood what they were trying to do. There's the idea of a guilty person nervously talking, and that was what sort of came across.
Well, yeah, for sure. This movie was rated PG-13, but I thought I saw a nipple.
Oh, he's got the nipple, huh?
I thought I saw a nipple. Did you guys see any nipples?
I did not see a nipple.
I mean, you can have a nipple in 13, can't you?
You can have it. There's one movie that has nipples, and it was Titanic, so I don't know what the deal with that was. I think you get one nipple per 3 hours, so you need to have a 3 hour plus movie to have
There's
a nipple
like
in it.
a nipple mileage
It's
sort
a
of
3
thing.
hour like
Yeah.
stipulation.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not written
you-
down, but that seems to be the general rule. of
Sorry,
thumb.
you're coming in at 2 hours 11 minutes.
That's an hour.
You're gonna have to take the nipple out.
It's either you got an R or you got to take the nipple out. Yeah, I thought I saw a nipple. I don't know, and I was pretty surprised because it was right after the knock knock go f yourself joke. And I
It's a
was
great
like,
one.
it was the first person he banged. I think I forget who it was. I think it
was
might
it
have been
the
the girl
banker?
from Grey's Anatomy.
When they're laying there, I could see that. I mean, there was
Yeah, he has his shirt on. By the way, she's topless. He has his shirt on. How does that work? That's
they didn't pay for him to be shirtless.
That's
Probably.
not how sex works, Spielberg.
Are you sure?
Pretty
I'm
sure.
sure it's been left on quite a few times.
But I mean, if a girl's taking her shirt off and she has a bra to do, all you have to do is rip her shirt off. Sure, it's easy to take off. They have more clothes to take off. What are you going to be doing? Just standing there with your shirt on while they undress?
That's
Yeah,
it.
so
You got
I've
it.
I've been trying. While you guys are talking about that, I think I made up the whole Christopher Walken reconstructive surgery thing. I don't know. I
That
don't know
wouldn't
where I got
surprise
that.
me,
I
Johnny.
can't. Yeah, I know. I can't find anything on it.
Well, that's
Can't
good.
trust anything John says.
I'm giving up. I wouldn't.
Negative point
You
for
got a
John.
fact-
Back to 0.
Yeah, or even wait. Where are we now? I think you're ahead by
I'm at
one
1.
or 2.
Yeah, I'm at 1. And you're at 0. Yeah, too bad,
One
John.
love then.
Better luck next time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
Well, all right.
Do you think that DiCaprio knew that Jennifer... So that whole Jennifer Gardner scene was kind of confusing too, right? He's kind of standing in the hallway and so is she. He picks her up by flirting with her. I thought he was just picking her up, but then she turns out to be a prostitute and he seems to understand that.
Yeah, I thought that he would be like, screw you. I look at all these other girls. Haven't you been watching the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm Leo.
Yeah.
Leonardo!
Look out the window. There's my yacht. How many women do you see on that yacht?
Yeah.
I also
So
thought... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just confused at that point too. I completely agree. I was like,
I didn't
thought
think
he'd
she
be
was a
like,
prostitute until they said that.
Yeah.
I just thought, like you said, I just thought that he picked up some chicks. She didn't make it seem like she was a hooker
Until she asked for money.
until she asked for money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to pick up prostitutes. So
But I
maybe
mean, you
that's like the
figure
thing.
he's got so much money, he probably didn't care.
Yeah.
That's
Things
fair
full
enough.
of money.
He's just like having fun anyway. So it's just money.
He's like, wait,
Then-
I have to pay. I don't care.
Then it's like I don't quite understand the scene anyway. Then it's like, well,
Right.
Why
What do they?
bother
What
with
is the
this?
intention
I think they
here? What
wanted
is the
to make
intention?
they wanted to make her out to be like hotter than the other girls, but I don't think she is.
She's not.
Yeah,
So
she's kind of got like a very I don't know how you, like tendony face.
yeah,
You know?
I never found her to be attractive.
Yeah.
I thought so. She's had her lips like inflated lately or something, so she looks.
She's got inflated lips.
You're supposed to be the doctor,
Yeah.
John. Come on, you can't tell us what actually happened.
No, he's a thought
Yeah.
doctor. He's not
Silicone
a he's not
injection. I don't know. I'm not a real doctor.
he just plays one on Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, it's a psychologist. Nobody expects you to do anything.
Yeah. Those hands don't touch the patient. You know?
There was the Christmas where he actually called and left his real hotel room number to be caught by Hanratty. Why do you think that that was the only Christmas that he had different thoughts about it? Because he didn't try to turn himself in after that. He kind of consistently tried to run before and after that.
Well, wait. But the next Christmas is where he shows up in France, right?
No, it was multiple Christmases after that, wasn't
Multiple
it?
Christmases. I don't know.
It's kinda hard to
wasn't keeping
tell.
track of the
Yeah, I
don't
Christmases.
I don't
How
think
many
they do time.
Christmases?
So he was
were in the movie?
arrested when he was 21, and he started when he was 16. So it was 4 or 5 Christmases, depending on when, I guess.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
A hell of a ride he took, huh?
Yeah,
I only think we saw like 2-3 Christmases,
yeah,
maybe.
maybe. Yeah, we saw the one at the plant. We
But
saw,
he might have just been at a particularly low point then, I guess, so that's why he was
Feeling
leaving that.
especially lonely.
Yeah. Because he didn't have I think, when he could argue like when he had the relationship going when he was in the South with what's her name?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams, yes. When he had that going on, that he was less lonely. He felt like he was kind of belonging somewhere, and so maybe he wasn't wanting to get caught so much at that point.
Oh, John, you're adverse to big teeth, as we've learned from the previous Keira Knightley movies. How did you
Who
feel
likes
about
big teeth?
Martin Sheen's teeth?
Oh, it's more dentures.
Yeah,
I
dentures.
guess, right? Maybe. So, and it's big teeth combined with being really thin. So I think that's where where you just see like there's like the teeth are like it's the ratio
They're
of
not
teeth
used.
to the rest of face.
You gotta see gum line too.
Yeah.
If you see
So-
in gum line, oof, it's a bad
Yeah, but
look.
there's like if the teeth are just you're seeing much more teeth than the rest of the face. That's when it starts to get a little scary, I think. But so
Unless
so
you're-
Is there
I-
a phobia? Is there a phobia, John, for large teeth?
probably
Is there a fetish for it?
probably.
Probably.
Well, press in those
that
cans.
is
Thank
more.
you very
I'd have
much.
more in line for the fetish than the phobia. I bet you.
Sign me
more
up
of a
for that
thing.
one. Yeah.
Speaking of Martin Sheen, he suspected DiCaprio for a bit as being like a con artist for some
Right.
reason.
Well, right when he was just like I
Was he the father or the daughter? Or
yeah,
something?
he was the father daughter, and they're
Right.
they're the point where he's quizzing him about like the dog of an instructor down.
Yeah, he didn't believe
Yeah.
him at all,
Right.
did he? in
But
that-
why?
that scene?
well,
Because he's a dad. You never believe the kid.
Maybe, but I think that scene felt more like they were just trying. That one felt a little more contrived, where they were trying to just create tension.
Well, and the doctor's
think-
a
I don't
lawyer
know.
too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the dad is a lawyer,
Yeah, as a lawyer.
so he's
Yeah.
he questions everything. He's finding flaws in this guy's argument all day.
Yeah, but I think if you wanted to, it would have been if you really wanted. If somebody was just outright lying about going to the same law school you went to, I don't think it would take you too long to figure that out.
Too long to figure that out,
Yeah.
right? No.
Yeah, I think you could ask a couple questions and not have to worry about it. I mean,
And then in
or-
a typical dad fashion, you would let your daughter go. You wouldn't jump on it. You'd feel him out for a bit more.
But he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
we went to
think
the
so.
same school. What was the name of
What's
the dog?"
name? Yeah,
right. I know. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 you're screwed. Gulp. All you hear is gulp.
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know. That felt like more. It was all about.
I thought he
like,
was
just
going to
creating
expose
some
him for
tension.
sure.
Yeah,
But
he was
didn't
close.
do it.
But sly old DiCaprio got out of it once again.
Yep. Well,
He's
the
a
dog
sneaky
wasn't
one.
there.
Yeah. How did you feel about the scene where he's like, "I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer." Blah blah. Blah, and he's just basically confessing.
To her,
To the dad, and the dad's like, "Yeah, I get you. We're both just
romantics. Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
it.
in love."
I didn't buy that.
Really, I thought it was
Again-
good because the Martin Sheen character kind of came out as someone who could tell lies, and he's like, "Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth." And he didn't lie, and it's like, well, maybe he is really good at detecting lies, but DiCaprio wasn't lying. So he read past it and was actually happy that someone like honest and good and romantic was meeting his daughter. That's what I thought. I don't know.
Huh. I didn't. Yeah, no, I was like,
I think
I don't know how I
I don't
took
know. For
that.
some reasons, I didn't buy those scenes as much for some reason. I don't know.
I was like, why is the dad getting stupid all of a sudden? He had him dead to rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like the dog
guess
is
so.
dead, and you're like, well, what's the dead dog's name? You didn't answer my question,
Yeah.
you little shit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Homeboy's got alumni, books, the dog
Yeah.
right on it.
Yeah, he could call his friend and be like, hey,
Still
have you ever
kicking.
seen this guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. I think considering the whole daughter thing at that point, you would.
And I mean, he
Well,
was
no, but
planning
then
on.
that might cloud your judgment, though. So maybe not. 'Cause
Maybe
you don't want to
or-
make.
well,
you don't want to find out these things because
well,
it's your
maybe that's
daughter's in
true.
love and all that.
Well, that
BS.
too. But like her coming back with a doctor and everything, you could argue that like totally legitimized her in their eyes too. So they didn't want to like break that illusion
Or a lawyer.
because
You mean?
lawyer or doctor and lawyer, and they
Well,
didn't
they didn't
want
know
to.
he was a doctor, right? Or did they?
No, he was. They said he was. He said he was a doctor, but now he wants to
Now
practice
he's in.
law.
Oh,
and
my
he's,
God.
he
yeah,
said he
doctor.
also was
He's
a
like a
lawyer.
doctor and a lawyer. How
Yeah.
blessed are we? Yeah, that
And a
makes no
Lutheran?
sense.
Woo!
And a Lutheran.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's up here.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
no,
So
there's no way.
they didn't want to because they kicked the daughter out of the house because she had an abortion, and so that this was like salvaged everything in their eyes. So maybe they were really like didn't want to see things as going wrong.
She was really good. Amy
I know.
Adams was really good in this.
When is she not good?
I don't know. She might.
she's good.
Did you see Arrival this year, TC?
No, I did not.
No.
I kind of heard it
Oh.
sucked.
She really? Whoever said that
Yeah,
is wrong.
what?
It was
A
awesome.
lot of people out here saying it's not great.
That's wrong. You got to see it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I you should go see it. I before you even hear about it or learn any of the details of it, you really should go see that one.
Well,
It's
funny
amazing.
story. I helped out some dude the other day at work, right? Some group from Regal. And they were having trouble, so I came in, fixed their shit, and then left. As I'm leaving, he's like, hey, kid, come here. Thank you very much for your help. He's total Italian. Got to be in his 60s. Hey, thank you very much. Here's 2 tickets. You take a girl, you have a good time. Just like, I swear to
Nice.
God, just like that. And I
Aw.
kind of looked at him I laughed. I was
You're
like,
12
okay,
again.
thanks,
You're 12
right?
years old again.
Yeah. So then I'm leaving the thing, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, well, it looks like I'm going to a movie twice or 2 movies by myself
Aw.
because there's nobody coming with me. But now I got 2 free tickets, so maybe I'll use one on the on that one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You should.
I got to go to 2
You should
movies
have
now, so.
asked, hey, you got a daughter? You got a granddaughter?
Hey, guy,
What do you got?
you look like a nice Italian man. You got a daughter? See what he says. He's like,
You got a
dude, just take
daughter,
the
right?
tickets. Go.
Yeah.
Go. Just take the tickets,
Right.
bro. Why are you still here? But anyways,
Yeah, she's good.
I'll go see that.
I like her
She
a
was
lot.
good. I mean, she's always good, though. I like her.
Yeah.
Unlike what's
Yeah.
her face, Emma Stone there.
Unlike, yeah.
Someone that was like, "Did you see La La Land?" I was like, "Why would I go see that movie?" She's like, "But it just won all. I guess it won the other night.
Critics'
Some
choice
critic thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won 8 out of the
Gosling.
12 that got nominated for.
Gosling's in it.
And I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Oh, Emma Stone's in that." And the lady at work's like, "You don't like her?" I'm like, "Nah." He goes, "Well, you're not gonna like that movie because her face is pretty big on that screen, a lot,
It's pretty big, and it's pretty big on the screen.
and she sings as well." I was like, "Oof, this is just 2 things I'm definitely not gonna go
Ooh,
see."
singing? I don't know about that.
Does Ryan Gosling sing too?
I watched him
He
dance
does.
around.
Or he's
It's a
like a
musical.
jazz
It's a
pianist
singing
or
and
something.
dancing,
I think
right?
he's the pianist in it or something.
Ryan
terrible.
Gosling
Yeah.
is my personal stylist. I watch a movie with
really?
Ryan Gosling and I need clothes. I'm like, all right, he's wearing those
so-
shoes. I'm buying those shoes.
Fair enough.
He's wearing-
I've honestly done that multiple times. Thanks,
Seriously.
Ryan Gosling.
Wow.
Not joking. This is my life.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's actually really funny. I mean, it's smart. Girls love them.
Yeah.
They eat them up.
I figured
So-
you can't go wrong.
You and Naomi looking at you still strong. You better go dress like Gosling.
Exactly. That's what I
You
thought.
know, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I was just reading it. Him and Harrison Ford's in the new Blade Runner too. So it's him and Harrison Ford are in that one.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. So back to this movie.
Oh yeah, right.
Sidetracked.
We're still talking
We're
about
talking about
movie,
a
right?
movie here.
Where were we?
Fuck.
The scene where he exits the plane and runs to his mother's house and goes and like spies on his mother's new family. The little girl doesn't really have the reaction you think she would have.
Huh.
In the window,
What'd
you know
think?
what I'm saying?
What did you think she would have?
Screaming. Oh, there's a freaking man.
Who is that?
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. As the child expert here,
Yeah,
again, I don't know as old as she is.
your
I don't know.
expertise.
Should she just be
Kids-
kind of in shock, maybe? You know?
Well, yeah, kids, or at least again, and my daughter's 3, but when she is confronted with something like that, she is more interested than anything.
'Cause she doesn't know the
she might
difference.
like want to come like normally she might like run to us or something, but I've seen her at parties when she's around people that she doesn't know, and if they do something really interesting, she just kind of stops and stares at them. And is just sort of fascinated.
So you're thinking they're playing up that idea?
Oh, maybe. I think
what a
again
kid
they
would
wanted
do.
the drama of it, right? So if she just went and screamed, she just it sort of ruined the whole moment, right?
What you should
she
do,
saw
John,
him and she'd been like, ah,
what you should do is
Mommy!
you put on a fake beard, put on a long-haired wig, put on some raggedy clothes, put some baggy-eyed makeup on, sneak outside your house, make sure your daughter's in the window, and then poke your head in and see what her reaction is.
All right, we'll
That
do
sounds
it.
like abuse.
We'll
That
report
sounds
back.
like child abuse.
Look,
That is child abuse.
That
if
is
you
right.
know you're
It's-
doing that.
I am already getting arrested for that.
No, I'm just kidding.
But seriously, it probably is abuse.
but like it's
Yeah, I don't
abuse.
yeah.
No, but I didn't not buy it. I was like, okay, fine. But you know what they wanted to do there? They wanted to set up that scene so that he slowly realized this, and they slowly realized that was her mom. So
Yeah, I guess.
that was the point.
I guess that makes sense. I don't know how kids react to things, so that could make sense. Thank
I
you.
don't know. She's like, I don't know, 6 something.
Yeah, she was pretty young.
Kid.
I don't know, 6. She looks like she could probably talk.
Yeah,
That's about all I know.
yeah. She looked older than that, so or older than 3. So she's like a lot more, like maybe 5 or 6, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll check back in a couple years.
Yeah.
And see. Because I don't think I'm going to go through all that trouble because my daughter's just 3, or 2 rather.
Yeah.
So it's we'd have to wait
2
another
variables.
3
That's not a good
years.
experiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta wait till. All right, I'll check back. I'll figure out what movie is 2 years down the line, and then during another Kurosawa or something, I'll ask the question.
That sounds good. And I'll try to frighten her then.
Yeah.
Look, you're 5 years old now. It's time. Boom. Okay.
2 more overarching questions I have about the movie before making
Going
of
into
stuff.
fact check.
Yeah. Did Leonardo DiCaprio really love Brenda / Amy Adams' character in this movie? What do you think?
I think it was his first love.
Yeah.
So you never really know on your first love what you're doing. It's up and down. It's left and right.
You think?
You're screwed.
So if it really was his first love, and I agree, I think the movie. What?
No, I just love the way TC said that. I think that was just great.
Yeah. If I agree that the movie, John, do you agree with that it was his first love?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like it's a lot of confusion, and I think that he did care for her. I don't think but he's also still wrapped up in all his own stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
he wanted her to come with him. He wanted them to be able to escape from all of it.
And he really doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, but he did try to. He did. If he really didn't care for her, he would have just been gone. So he certainly felt something for her and was trying to get her to go with him. So there's that. Right?
Yeah.
But what did you think? Did you think he didn't?
No, I thought the movie definitely made it out. Like the second half of their relationship, I bought that he did love her, but the beginning part, I didn't buy the falling in love with. I didn't really. He seemed to be kind of manipulating her the same way he manipulated everybody else.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't see any
But-
difference there in the way he initially interacted with her. You would think that if he was like falling in love with her, he'd treat her differently in some way.
Well, not right at first, but I guess maybe he ended up treating her differently later. I don't know. They really like their relationship developed really quickly in terms of the movie. Like they sort of met, they flirted, he became the doctor, and then he I mean,
To the
other
office,
thing-
and that was getting married.
Right. But maybe he saw that he was like seeing that as an out in a way to kind of help her too. But he was like, after seeing blood and vomiting, he's like, oh, this is just not the fit career for me. So then he's like just seeing another way out, another way to go somewhere else. And she was his way to go somewhere else. And then maybe, it was more like he started to feel a little bit like he was part of their family, where they're all sitting there singing the Irish song or whatever. And he started to like that. And that might be more what he was trying to hold on to.
Has anybody here seen Kelly? Kelly.
Hey, you're Irish, Denny. Have you,
Dude, that song.
Did you and your family sit and sing that song?
I hate that song. Hate it so much. Do you know why? Because
There's drama involved with this song.
years pass and I haven't seen this movie, and I'll get up in the morning and get in the shower, and in my head I'll be like, "Is anybody here seen Kelly? Kelly. I'm like, get out of my head, you fucking song.
It's in your blood, man.
I've never
Every
heard it
drink
before
you
this
take.
movie.
Cues
No, it
up
doesn't
another
matter.
line.
It's genetics.
Have you guys heard of that song before this movie?
No.
I had neither. I looked it up.
Yeah, no.
I listened to the original version. It is a shitty song, but yeah, I mean that song. It's so freaking catchy in like the worst way possible, and it is in my brain.
Well, it might be. I mean, it's a drinking song. It's probably a great song to sing while you're really plastered.
Yeah,
that
could be true.
Well,
There's
you know
better
what you do
drinking
now,
songs now.
Denny, is you got to get the focus group together, you get a bunch of beer, and sing the song, See how you
Next
feel,
time, next time
Gotta
you're
take a
out
note.
drinking, you should just wait until 1 a.m. or so, and everybody's good drunk, and then just start singing.
It's like living on a
as soon
prayer.
as you hear Bon Jovi and stuff,
Yeah.
then you
Yeah,
start
yeah.
throwing on this one and see if it takes.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Dude, I
Or
always
like,
say I
don't
hate this
stop
song,
believing.
but really, I love this song. It's a good
Do you
song.
guys feel your blood tingling? Because this sounds pretty good.
Oh God.
Oh, shoot.
Last question. Did you guys think this movie glorified robbery a little bit too much?
Didn't even cross my mind.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I was annoyed at first when you're just trying. Again, it's what I said like earlier. Like, if you keep remembering this guy is 16, and he's a kid, and this is how things are going right from a young age, then it's like it's a little easier to understand that he's not thinking.
Yeah.
So I think that's just part of it because we've all done something like that probably.
No.
Not in such a grand scale.
No, speak for
I mean,
yourself.
guys have pirated music or whatever. I mean, there's things that we do.
Whoa.
Wait,
Making accusations here.
No, okay. I'm just saying, you've done stuff that you get away with that you don't think you're going to get caught. And when you're younger, you're less, you have the hard time thinking you actually could get caught at certain
What do you
things.
mean? Like raiding the ice cream out of the school cafeteria and then going to the gym and throwing it all over the place and then doing power slides and ruining the brand new floor? What are you talking about? Nah, I never did anything like that.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
What do you mean?
That never happens. No,
Right.
that
And
never
you were-
happens.
No,
when
I
you
didn't
did,
climb in
not
out the
to say
window.
that you did it, but when you did do it, you weren't thinking about what a mess you're making for the poor janitors that have to clean up. Not that you did
no.
it. But,
Who's the janitor?
but
What do you do? You
had
gotta
no
clean
thought-
this place.
Right. You had no thought to the consequences. Not
No,
that you did it,
none.
but if you did it, you
I
weren't
did
thinking
it.
of these things.
We did it. We got
You know.
caught big time. We got caught big. Came back in on
Yeah.
Monday. Can you come down to the office, please? Police are there.
Oh,
We've
God.
called all your parents. We know you were here. You're on camera.
Oh, didn't think that one through. That's your mistake there.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, we did ruin thousands of dollars worth of a brand new gym floor by power sliding all over it, throwing ice cream
Wow.
everywhere. Fucking scumbags.
So anyway, not that you did it.
But even that pales in comparison to what this Frank W. Abagnale Jr.
it does,
did.
but as a kid, you can kind of understand the idea of.
Oh, yeah. We had no
Yeah.
idea what the consequence was.
I
the
disagree with that,
cost.
John, because TC's thing is like a kid's being like, ice cream, throw it. Like it's kind of like being a monkey. It's like you're just running with your impulse. What he did
That's
was
true.
like, no, because he didn't have any impulses. His was well thought through. He was scheming. He was planning. He was flying around. It lasted for 5 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
just like a one-off, and he learned his lesson. He kept freaking
Like
doing
you're saying
But-
there was a stage of reflection, and he decided to say screw it.
Yeah,
and
multiple
continue on.
times
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
for years. Like
I think
it's pretty.
I
Like,
think it's he's sort of like again. I mean, he was so good at it that it was probably again that's what also made it hard for him. He was like this was like he was amazing. I mean, at doing this, and
Yeah.
so that was also probably kind of I bet you get a rush from it, and you feel really accomplished to pull something like this off. So it must be kind of a real kind of a rush feeling to be able to do it at such a grand scale. I think they
Especially
were
that
trying
young,
to,
living off of the adrenaline.
yeah, well, and then you don't have any money, and you don't, I mean, the things that he did, most people couldn't do. So then that makes you think that it's not like glorifying like petty robbery or whatever, because he was doing fantastic things,
he was robbing banks.
right? But he was doing it in this fantastic way that most people couldn't do.
Yeah, but
he
then
didn't, like
he's
walk
still
in.
stealing stuff that's not his.
Yeah.
In the movie,
But I'm just trying to say, like, it's not.
But he's saying that the filmmaker is equating it to something fantastical, not something that's every day. So if you were
Yeah.
to be glorifying it, it would have to be sort of compared to something that happens on a daily basis that everybody is a part of.
So it's glorifying brilliant robbery.
So if you're saying that if you like murder somebody in a real creative way that no one else has done before, that kind of removes the bad part from the murder? Don't say yes. Don't say yes.
No, but I think what he's saying is that when you're telling a story of something that happened, that you're not glorifying a single thing. You're just talking about the story.
Something like
real,
theft.
right?
Something like theft is something that I think a lot of people don't mind. If you totally get away with it, and if you don't see the consequences of it. I mean, arguably, there's a lot of theft that goes on that if people can feel like they certainly can get away with it, they'll do it.
Yeah. Fucking people.
Right, so,
we're all a bunch of assholes. Assholes.
Yeah, well, again, this is piracy. There's a lot of people that feel like there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
And feel great about it. And in fact, feel like they're like doing something good. Like they're patting themselves on the back and kind of feeling good about themselves. Like somehow they're doing community service or something. I don't know.
How is that possible?
They weren't really elevating the theft, though. They were just telling the story of what happened. Is some of it not true? That's the next thing. Is that make it glorified then?
The glorifying part is that
up,
you're telling a humorous, fun adventure story where you're
making him likable.
Rooting for the guy. You're rooting for the guy, right? You don't necessarily. I mean,
That's
actually,
true.
To be fair,
That's
though,
true.
they do portray it in a way that by the time he is caught, you do want him to get caught because he wants to get caught. I mean, he reaches the point where he's pretty miserable. And everything's kind of falling apart for him. I
agree. That movie, I felt for him in the movie, but we shouldn't screw that guy. He's stealing money. You should feel bad. Well, he should go to prison.
Right. But by the time he did get caught and did go to prison, you're also feeling like it's good that he got caught. But only because that's what he's feeling bad. If he was still living it up. Yeah, it's sort of the rise and fall kind of story. Like you see that in a lot of movies that Leo's been in. Like, or I'm just thinking of King of Wall Street too. It's kind of
Wolf of Wall Street. God, that movie.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Long.
God damn it! Sorry.
What did you say, TC?
I said that movie was way too long.
We gotta watch it again, TC. It's on the list.
I was able to fall asleep in the theater and wake up and still know what was going on.
Yeah. Hey, is Leo's probably like one of the top actors in the top 250?
Probably. He probably is.
Yeah.
I should do a list of that too. That might be harder.
I just saw John, but you said something about like making it fantastic. So one of my notes was, man, when fraud is going well, it is fantastic.
It's no wonder everyone tries to do this.
Yeah, it's like if you could do this all the time and get away with it, this would be the best job ever.
Yeah,
you'd be rich all the time.
You'll be whoever you want.
Right. Screw the ramifications of soul and self. You're loaded. You're good.
You're freaking
Keep on
good.
going.
Go,
Ride
man,
this
go.
one out.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the whole prisoner thing. Like in the movie when he's escaping, like he shouldn't be escaping, but everyone's like, "Come on, man, keep going. You can do it.
Yeah.
Go as far as you can.
Do it. Go, go, go,
Yeah.
go, go. It's the underdog. It's a story of the underdog.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the legal recourse is.
So, but I think you're right. To some extent, it glorifies it a little. You can't help but sort of like see, especially early on in the film, sort of like seeing the rush of it and the excitement. I don't necessarily think again.
All right, throw another one on the board for Denny.
Yeah. I'm winning.
Well,
I'm winning.
You're winning. I think you got this one.
I'm winning this fight that nobody else
that
has.
no one cares, and I don't care either.
There's no scoreboard, but Denny's winning. And he gets a cake.
But if you watch, I don't think you'd like condemn the movie for that sort of thing. If you watch the whole movie, you don't.
No, I kind of condemn. I kind of condemn the way I feel about the movie and the actual guy. So I watched a bunch. We can get into it. So the guy is. We can get into that in like a minute. I just have one more thing to say about the movie in general. All
right.
I just wanted to
You've
say
had 57 minutes, so let's figure this one out.
The intro of the movie is awesome. It's like one of the best intros I can think of. One of the top off the top of my head.
Damn, I don't even remember it.
It's like the. It's a cartoon with a bunch of
it's like the Pink Panther movies.
Yeah,
is what makes me think of like the
okay.
And it's got the awesome John Williams score on top of it.
Yeah, the score is great.
And how good is John Williams?
He's the freaking man.
He's just a musical movie genius.
Yeah, he's getting to the end too, man. It's gonna be
him and Hans
sad.
Zimmer. Him and Hans Zimmer are something else.
Yep, they are
with our
gods.
generation of like composition.
Yeah, they are the top two for sure. In terms of like pop movie, like, pop. I'd call them pop movies, right? Like Jaws, Star
Yeah.
Wars, Indiana Jones.
Right.
For
right. Like
for Williams.
pop culture movies.
Yeah. So that was it. All I had. Do you guys have any more thoughts on the movie proper?
Not really. I'm kind of interested in the facts now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the facts. I wish this movie was on that list you found, John, to see what percentage. If I were to guess from reading the facts how factually true this movie was, I'd probably go with like a 60%.
Did you
True.
see that? What's his name said though?
80%.
80% not true.
80% true is what.
I thought it was 80% not true.
No, he said 80% actually true.
Okay.
The actual
I
guy,
misread that.
Frank Abagnale,
Right.
said that it was 80% true.
So you think 65%?
I would say 60. And it also depends on what you weigh. Like as we talked about the Imitation Game, it depends on what you weigh in terms of importance, I guess. Because a lot of the stuff that wasn't true, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like whether like what the FBI agent's name really was, that doesn't matter. There's a lot of different things like that are just like that doesn't change the nature of the story.
Yeah. I have a couple more things just really quick. The intro was hand animated with hand carved stamps on paper and then composited into a computer. So all of that was hand animated, which is kind of nuts because it doesn't really look like it. Two more really quick things. Leonardo DiCaprio takes between 6 and 7 takes for each scene, and then he would often ask for an 8th take to Spielberg, and 80% of the time, that 8th take was the take they would use because Leo would get like loose and do something experimental. So I guess that's like
That's a cool fact.
Yeah.
8 takes. Is that?
That's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the most indies are on a 4 take max before they got to move on because they're running out of time.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
must be
Spielberg
nice to have all that money.
Yeah, he's
and
got
all that
money pits.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Give him an 8th. He's Leo. Give him an 8th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last one, Christopher Walken's the scene where they're at the fancy restaurant and he starts crying, talking about how he picked up his wife again. That was completely improv, and nobody was expecting him to cry. And there was a behind the scenes thing where Spielberg was choked up, just like telling him how good it was.
Oh,
Wow.
So that was kind of cool.
It's pretty badass. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's wow.
All right, so on to the. Sorry, do I have
Let's do some facts checking
Facts.
already. I'm dying here.
Some fast facts, maybe.
I'm facts.
Facts.
Jesus.
Frank Abagnale Jr. had 3 siblings. He was not an only child.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Were they nice, wholesome people or what?
Hard to say. So the only time they mentioned it in any of the stuff I read was that, so instead of going back to his parents' apartment and having some random guy sit him down and tell him that his parents were getting divorced, he got, his brother came, he was either a sophomore or junior in high school, I forget. And he picked up middle of class, brought to a courthouse. His brother dropped him off, and the judge told him that his parents were getting divorced. His parents never told him that. Only the judge did.
Wow.
And the judge actually did. I actually had a note saying, like, there's no way they would make the kid write down who they want to stay with. That seems mean.
Yeah, I know. That scene was rough, dude.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know. I think they would do that either.
But they did at the courthouse. And
Look, kid, we just want to know which one do you like more. You like her, or you like him? You don't have to take your time. You just got to think about it right now. Put it on the piece of paper. Just do it right now. I mean, can you imagine how rushed?
it would be the worst
you'd
thing ever.
feel? Oh, my God.
So he did feel really bad, and he did right then and there, he ran out of the courthouse. They took like a 10-minute intermission, but he was already gone. He went home, grabbed some stuff, took a train to downtown New York, and he didn't ever see his father again, speak or see his father ever again. And
So they made all that up then?
Yep. All that
Where
stuff
he,
was
like,
made up.
talked to him? Wow.
All the stuff too, where his father was like a con artist and all that stuff was all made
yeah.
up. That was all made up.
Oh, see, I
Oh.
had that on a note to ask, so
Yep.
that's good. That's
Yeah, he was like a
following
real
up.
straight shooter type of guy.
I was like, was that real?
No.
Okay, so no.
Not
That's
real.
a little
So that's
annoying.
Yep.
Drama, adding in the drama with the writing.
Yeah,
He did
tarnishing
fall-
a real life person's character for the sake of entertainment.
He did
But,
fall down the stairs and kill himself that way. But he wasn't like good friends with his father. It wasn't like he was trying to be his father.
Well, damn it, that makes me. I mean,
Yeah, that
the
makes
thing
me
is-
annoyed now.
What makes me what's a little annoying about that is like that's like part of the insight into his character, right?
Yeah.
Is that his father
Right.
was a
That's
con
the
man, and
development, yeah,
So we
for sure.
lose that, like, so that that's sort of what I think. That's what I mean. The whole tarnishing a real life person's name so other people might be entertained is a little sad. But
yeah, because I agreed, John. Because I remember what I wrote down was so he lies to his dad when he calls. Did that actually happen? That was my fact check.
Didn't happen.
It didn't happen at all. Not only did he not talk to him on a call, he didn't talk to him. Period. That ruins everything.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Well, I mean, it makes the movie better.
At all.
It makes the movie better because Christopher Walken's
it's
character
creative
is awesome.
license and poetic license and all that BS.
You
But
know,
I
when
mean,
they
as far
say-
as the
they do
actual
say-
story,
right, but they're clear about saying based on a true story.
Yeah.
I think and
yeah. Well,
so
if you want the lawyers to sign off on it, yeah,
you're always going to say that, right?
yeah, right.
When he scratches his birth date on the ID from 1948 to 1938, that's exactly what he did. Because he didn't immediately start cashing bogus checks. He moved downtown and started doing the same thing he was doing for his father, which was being a delivery boy. His father had like a paper store downtown, so he was a delivery boy for other places. And he figured out that if you were older, they would pay you more and give you more work. So he faked his age with his ID. So that was the beginning of forgery.
That's where it
that he
all started.
He did start bouncing checks. And he bounced so many checks in New York that he had to leave. So that was kind of true. Did he make fake checks in New York, or was he only bouncing them? I forget in the movie.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because he only bounced them in New York for real.
I feel like it was later in the career where he was really getting into the. It seemed like it was really like building his own checks. That was later.
Yeah. Okay. So that was true in the movie. Yeah. The FBI put like a warrant out for a John Doe for him, so he somehow figured that out and got out of there. The scene where he sees the pilots and the co-pilots and the stewardesses walking down the street did happen, and it did inspire him to fake being a pilot to get free flights. He got free flights around the world and around the country, cashing these fake checks for 2 years. He flew to 26 different countries, 26 different foreign countries in all 50 states, and he cashed checks in all those places.
Wow.
The whole story where he called the uniform place for Pan Am and got the uniform, that was all true. He did say, this is an extra little story, when he first got the uniform on, he went to LaGuardia Airport, and there were 3 pilots there, and he was trying to like ask him questions to figure out how he should act and stuff like that. And 3 pilots were there, and they asked him what equipment he flew, and he didn't know. Unlike the movie where he figured it out before anyone asked him, he did not know. Right. And he thought, he's like, wings, cockpit, like, what are all these things?
Oh, shoot.
He said General Electric, and they all stopped eating, turned to him, and they said, what are you flying, a washing machine? And he said he got up and just left the airport.
Oh, wow.
They got him.
They got him. They're like, who is this clown?
That's great.
16-year-old kid in a pilot outfit? Like
we don't buy this for a minute. You're an idiot.
Wow.
Yeah. So when the FBI found out about him doing that in terms of the 2 free years of flying around, so he never flew. He always just he never flew on a Pan Am airplane. He always went to other people's airplanes and sat in that, what is it called? The jump seat? Is that what it was
the
called?
The bumper seat or whatever it was called.
Wow.
I forget, yeah.
Flew in that all over the place.
Can you imagine the balls it would take to do something like that?
Seriously. It's
Holy
pretty, he's like a sociopath, I'm pretty sure.
Right, absolutely. That's weird. I mean, he's a narcissist. We know that much.
Yeah.
His statement about how Leo isn't suave enough to play him.
Oh, well, he was convinced after he saw Leo. But he said he was convinced after he saw Leo.
But even still, even the thought, let alone.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like, dude, come on. You're a con artist. This is a major Hollywood actor.
Right.
Like,
Fair
you're
enough,
nowhere near as suave as he is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not. So when the FBI put a warrant out for his plane antics, he moved to Atlanta, became a doctor, which actually happened. The reason he put doctor is it was for a apartment application, and he kind of just fell into the position because he figured he could fake it.
Wow.
So he did that. He was put in like the night supervisor position in like a night shift, and he just kind of came up with answers to keep people off his back, and he ended up leaving after a year, and nobody had any idea that he faked it the entire time.
Jesus. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me that can even happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if it could happen nowadays.
I don't think so. There's no way.
There's
Probably less
too much
likely
digital
nowadays.
fingerprints. There's too many digital things going on. Like, you just don't have that ability to lie and have your face be the only thing that tells the story.
Yeah. So after he did that doctor thing, he did move to Louisiana, and he did pass the bar. He did.
How?
So instead of, the movie says he studied for 2 weeks, in reality he studied for 2 months and took a prep course. In Louisiana, they don't require you to have a degree to take the bar.
So you can just go in.
You can just go in. He went in and studied his ass off for 2 months and passed it. And he was really a lawyer in Louisiana.
He's a lawyer.
He was a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Here's another big thing that
I
they
don't
miss. Here's a big thing they miss. He did not get engaged to Amy Adams.
So that was not a real story.
There was no.
But
there
they
was
have to
nothing
have
there.
a romantic story.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's not a movie.
that's true.
Well, there was no character.
There was no
like Amy
character.
Adams?
Yeah, none of that stuff happens.
That was a whole made up thing.
whole made up thing.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that the stuff that they made up, though, is very much because of the dramatic.
Because it would have been
cookie-cutter.
boring otherwise, probably.
Well, yeah, like
I
the way
guess
that
so.
we
They-
watch
they,
movies.
They wanted to provide this story that sort of would shed light on his character and sort of build like how he's responding to relationships, whether it's like with his dad, which that didn't happen, or
Right.
like his first love, which that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's like the stuff that tries to explore his motivations all was made up.
Yeah,
Because a sociopath doesn't quite have.
and we all know how
I guess
John
they're
feels
well
about
known,
motivations and
yeah.
characters.
It's important.
It's
Dad.
important.
That's interesting.
So in the movie, it said something about when Hanratty went to go see his mother, something about $4 million. And by the way, during all that part, he was writing fake checks. After New York, just fake checks in all those places and traveling around and fake checks all over the place. And he also, after he did the lawyer thing, he left to teach a school at Brigham Young. He pretended to be a professor of sociology, and all he did was read one chapter ahead of the textbook, and nobody knew.
God.
Nice.
Wow.
At Brigham Young University in Utah?
Unless there's two.
Yeah,
Brigham
no,
Youngs.
there's only one.
That's it then.
There's
Yep.
only one BYU.
Yep, Brigham
Wow.
Young. Yep, Utah, I guess.
Yeah.
There was no Carl Hanratty.
No, but there was an FBI agent named something else, Sean something.
But he didn't talk to him. So Hanratty was what do you call him? Like an amalgamation of a bunch of different officers that chased him.
Did he call anybody
Nope.
on Christmas?
Not that he said.
So again, another thing that like tried to show insight into his insecurities or his emotional state.
Yeah, and again, I didn't read the book that
That's so weird.
Frank Abagnale wrote, but I did go through a bunch of stuff and saw. I watched like an hour-long live story session he did, and he expressly said that Hanratty was made up, and it was kind of loosely based on a few FBI agents that chased him.
So there was none of that
Yeah.
back and forth. I mean, it said they remained. I mean, that's really annoying with the epilogue saying they remain close friends to this day.
Yep. Bullshit. No United States FBI agent went to France to arrest him. An Air France stewardess recognized him, called it in. The French police got him on a Swedish, what do you call like an arrest? Sweden wanted him, but and he was in France. But then France got him and was like, "Screw that! He stole money from us too." Tried him. He went to French prison. They extradited him to Sweden. Tried him, convicted him in Swedish prison, and then after he went to Swedish prison, they extradited him back to the United States. Tried and convicted for 12 years.
Wow, interesting. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This story's all made up.
Yeah, like
How about how
parts
they
of it
got
are
Tom
real.
Hanks? They got
No,
Tom
parts
Hanks
of it are
from
real.
California, and they got Joseph Shea, the real
Yeah.
guy from Somerville. Now he understands his accent. But
Yeah.
if they're saying that Tom Hanks is, anyways,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's tough. That's
Yeah.
pretty-
The movie said something about $4 million in checks. In reality, after all said and done, he had cashed $2.5 million in checks, which is still a lot.
Yes.
And the whole fact, so he did get convicted for 12 years. He did 4, and he went out and helped the government for the rest of the time. That was all true.
Yeah. But he didn't go out in the custody of anybody in particular, I guess.
No,
Right.
he
So-
just worked for the government, just the government in general. And it was in Texas he had to work initially.
Wow.
I don't know. I think he works in D.C.
Okay.
now.
So now I'm feeling a lot better about not buying the emotional stuff the way I wanted to in the movie because
Because they're making it up
Yeah.
anyways.
I got
Yeah,
two
they're
more.
making it up
Two more
anyways.
things. One will make you hate this guy. One of which I'll do the non-hate one first. He did turn down 3 sitting presidential pardons because he feels like he has to earn his redemption. I guess because he feels bad about what he did, which is kind of nice.
That's kind of nice.
But here's this
Or
fact:
smart.
there was one day where he took a bunch of deposit slips out of a bank, bought this. I forget what I didn't write down what it was called, but it was a used magnetic number machine where you can magnetically punch in numbers on pieces of paper. And he did that with his own bank account number so that every person, then he went back into the bank and put the deposit slips back. So every time some non-bank individual working person went into a bank and deposited money, it went into his bank account instead.
Oh my God. How smart are you?
Also, how big of an asshole. Like, you can kind of say, like, oh, sure, the big banks, they're not going to get hurt by that much. But he's stealing from people.
Yeah, he's basically stealing from any schmo that went into the bank to cash a check. Their money was gone.
Yeah.
Well,
so he's an ass.
The money was argued, and then the bank had to figure it out and pay it back.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
But they might not have, some people might not have noticed, or some people might have lost the argument. I don't know.
Yeah,
but you're
poor old
basically,
granny over there. She's putting in, $20 a week.
And you're also like stressing these, what if they needed that money to make rent that week, or who knows what, right?
Oh, God, no. The ramifications of all of it are horrible, but yeah, I don't know. You're right. I guess the bank policy back then probably wasn't to cover your ass.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what happened. There's no money in your account.
Right.
Not my
you
problem.
say you had a check, and you cashed it, but we don't see it. So,
but if they have like a receipt, which a lot of the old people do all the time, I mean, you'd go and be like, what do you mean? I put it in at this date. The bank would have to they'd have to honor you. I mean,
maybe. It's not nice either way. It's not nice at all.
No, it's not nice. It's not nice.
And the way he talks about himself now, I mean, he has been working for the government for 35 years. He has his fingerprint on your ID, my ID, whatever state you're in, passports, checks, all that stuff. He's helped to make them more secure. So he has done good, but he also, I don't care that he was 16. He's an ass.
Yeah,
and he also thinks of himself extremely highly. When you hear him talk, he's
he's a narcissist.
He's also, famous now because of this movie.
Right. Highly respected in the field of security.
Statement.
Was it? Say again, TC?
I said famous is a loose statement.
He's pretty famous. I think a lot of people
wouldn't
have seen
recognize this guy if I saw him on the street.
But you were like, hey, the guy,
not.
Catch Me If You Can is based on a true story. You know, the guy that Leo plays? That guy. Like,
no, what guy?
Yeah.
Well, there's a guy. Oh, okay, cool. I mean, literally still not famous. That's what I'm saying.
He's more famous than you or me.
Thought about. No, because they're going to think about Leo when they think about it. Oh, that's the.
But
so
also,
that guy exists.
You can say
still going to think
Leonardo
about Leo.
DiCaprio played me in a movie. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool.
Who are you telling that to? People your own age? The guy's 60 years old. Nobody cares.
I'd still tell people.
Look, I'm telling you, it's not famous. No.
Okay.
He's a bum.
Fine.
He's a bum and he's a dick.
And he's probably
we already
rich.
figured this out.
We got TC angry now.
Dude, you know he buried some of that money somewhere. He's rich.
Had to have.
Yeah.
There's cash somewhere.
He's a pirate.
If he was smart enough to do it once, he was smart enough to hide it.
Yeah. So that's all I got, guys. Top 250. John.
Nope.
TC.
Yes.
And I also
really?
say yes.
Really?
I think this movie is awesome. Yeah, it's
I like this movie. I've
highly
seen it
entertaining.
twice, and I liked it each time.
Yeah.
I like Leo, though. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm a
the
big
cast
Leo
itself.
fan.
When are you going to get a cast like this and like the money to do this kind of period piece and to have this kind of humor and to tell like an okay true story?
Minus 20 spots for faking all the relationship stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. Minus at least 20.
For sure. But I didn't know that when I watched it, and the
emotions
emotions I felt
know.
when I watched it are the ones I'm going with.
And
It's
actually,
fair.
so as
It's
opposed to
fair.
other movies that lie, when I'm mad, they're like, "Oh, why'd you do that? You could have just done it the real way, and it would have been as good." This one, it would have been worse. Like the relationship stuff
you're right.
is good.
Right.
Yeah,
If they're like, why'd you do it? We don't know. He's
He's just some loner at that point without all the
Yeah.
relationship stuff. He's just a weird
Right.
loner who travels by himself and loves it. Like, that's not a good story.
I still think you could find a way to make that interesting, but it would
They
it may have
couldn't.
been a lot harder.
They had to make shit
Yeah.
up.
They couldn't. No, they did
You know what?
try, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
They had to make the shit up. That's all. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one, and
I thought it was like
you
masterfully
said,
done.
The
Steven
cast
Spielberg
is
is
great.
the boss. He's the
Yeah, he's the
man.
boss. You're talking about Springsteen, the film hit.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Next
What?
movie.
That's not a new thing you're going to do, is it?
Yes. I'm going to do that every movie now.
Don't do that again.
Don't be doing that anymore.
Stop it.
I can only do
We'll
it
have
if
to
the
do, like-
last word is can. That's the only time I can do that.
That's true.
Can.
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 Can. Dun-dun. Anyways, what do we got
Whoa,
next?
all
John's
right.
enjoying this. I can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
Not at all.
The next
I would have
movie.
unsubscribed at that point.
We got all the way through.
You guys got 1
unsubscribed.
star, bro.
yeah,
Can thing is terrible.
yeah.
The next movie we have is Sidney Lumet. Is that how you pronounce his name? I think it is, right?
Sidley?
Sidney Lumet?
Sidley?
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 That's the way you said it first.
No.
That's all.
Oh, is it? Sidney Lumet.
Yep.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh,
1970.
Oh, I'm
75.
looking forward to this.
Okay.
Have you guys seen this?
Day Afternoon.
No, Al
I don't think
Pacino,
so.
right?
You guys haven't seen this?
I
No,
don't
no.
think so.
Oh, I'm
think so.
excited.
You've
Nope.
seen it?
I have seen it. A man, should
How
I read
many
the
times?
synopsis?
Once or twice? Yeah, read the synopsis.
A man robs a bank to pay for his lover's operation. It turns into a hostage situation and a media circus.
Yep, looking forward
Cool.
for sure.
Oh,
It's another 2-hour film.
yeah, it's over 2 hours. 2 hours, 5 minutes.
right.
Oh, my eyes.
The IMDb top 250 should read, if you're over 2 hours, come on and join. Because we're going to watch you for 250 times. Jesus.
That was a good sentence. All right. So if you want to check out our website, go to mission250filmcast.com. We have our list. It's frozen in time. We're going in reverse order. You can follow us along. Check out old episodes and all that good stuff. If you want to email us, mission250filmcast@gmail.com. Rate and subscribe on iTunes if you're going to do it favorably. That's it.
If you're going to do it favorably.
You better go away if you're not going to. Say
All
bye,
right.
John. Say bye, John. Bye, John.
Bye,
Bye,
John.
John.
Bye, bye.